Hey, muy buenas noches to everyone. I hope everybody's doing well, blessed, and enjoying family. And as always, from the heart, muchísimas gracias to everyone for you guys' words, prayers, and for everything you guys put down and express and send my way. From the heart, sincerely, se los agradezco. Again, you guys know I'm not too good when it comes to words in this sense, but do know I appreciate not just you, but the time you take out of your day to do so. No, gracias. Now, to get into the story on hand, today I want to talk about Los Tres Reyes, or what once was, right? As you guys know, not just this, but everything in life, it's gonna change, What's good one day ain't gonna stay like so for whatever amount of time, right? And just to make it real clear on this video, you know, I'm aware of what happened with Topo, and yes, he did get shot. Behind what? By whom? I don't know. And even if I did, you could come on here and speak about having clecha or been being around the bush to know, that is recent. There was a death, and the words that come out of someone's boca, especially when they speak about having facts, it's gonna have a recoil effect, even if they're busted. So, in a sense, I'm not on here, as you guys know, to speak about current things. I'm here to speak my story in the hopes it could be helpful in some way. But I am well aware that they're listening, and I don't want to be the cause of them putting antennas around a certain individual behind something that in reality, is Florencia's issue. They're the ones that know the details, because I seen, well, just a few people, that spoke about this, and they're dead wrong. Just in the facts and the direction it came, it's wrong. And the other one, why it happened, where it happened, just that alone, stating where it happened when in reality, it didn't happen nowhere near where he said. So it's just to enlighten how, I guess, how this internet stuff works, in sense to accumulate a peso or two. They're willing to, in reality, cause headaches, to people that might not be involved. Now, with this said, I want to speak about me, right, as I always do. Now, I want to take you back on, when it was the beginning when I hit Pelican Bay, right? There was a few issues when it came to a camarada Güero from Florencia that was up there. But it wasn't like a causa issue, right? It was more so under a neighborhood issue that became public, right? If you want to say it like that. Now, it was no secret that at this time, yes, Tablas was having some type of feeling that on how they felt they were doing a little bit more than T, that was in the feds. But it went with the type of politics that play out a lot, which is state fed, out of sight, out of mind thing. But anyways, at this time, Tauro was schooling a youngster, and more so, he would become someone that, in reality, would have, in my opinion, more power than all three together, right? But that's just my opinion. But anyways, at this time, he's grooming him, and of course, you're in that cell, giving awareness, clecha, to not a youngster, but to a camarada on the ropes and that about, especially if it has to do with what you should always hold dearly, right? Which is your neighborhood. And again, something happened with Güero, and he was related somehow, some way to Garcia, and so there was headaches happening with him to the point where that's why it became public that he was to get hit, right? But it didn't happen as so. Eventually, it took life on its own, and the one that shut it down was, in my opinion, the reasonable one, right? Which at this time was Bobo. Bob always looked for the benefit when it came to them, their barrio, and he was more level-headed. And again, I know this because, as I mentioned in past tense, bubble open field, if you want to call it like that, in reality, in my town, through my neighborhood, right? Up until he got that release, he held my neighborhood. So, you know, I was basically told, just don't mind this. It's just something that it's gonna stop. The homie's good and everything's good. But my question is, mientras everything is pear and oranges, right? It's up in the air. What does that do for the reputation of a camarada? It's out on the open that you should be whacked by not the pili tablas per se, but of their child. I'll just leave it like that, cause Wizard was a camarada at this time, and everybody was aware who he was sealed up with. So you could say he was, what came out of him was being said or directed by tablas, right? But just to put a little bit of history behind where do we are, he manned up, right? To the point that he said if he has something coming for what his clica did, that dispuesto, he would take it on the chin the way he was supposed to. But, again, Babo squashed this. So I speak about this because this was the beginning of a foundation or something that I personally heard throughout years, right? Which was, in a sense, a division amongst one of the biggest neighborhoods when it comes to us, from Florencia, because I couldn't even start to name all their clicas, their cities they're in, and so anyways, as you guys know, through history, or through time, W ended up rolling, and that's someone that a lot of people don't speak on, right? And without getting into his business, because all you guys are aware, right? For those that don't know, but the child of the Tres Reyes, he ended up getting a lot of power, man. A lot. Not to sit here and say it was because of so and so and so and so. I believe so. It was his footwork that did it, right? And of course, he belongs to a big neighborhood. But, he utilized his neighborhood when it came to Mexico. For those not even aware, Guadalajara has a big Florencia neighborhood. And they claim Florencia, but when push comes to shove, they ain't camaradas per se. They claim Florencia, Sur 13, however you want to paint it, right? But they're not with that being that loyal campolero when it comes to these other individuals. If you guys get what I'm trying to say, that's more so us, right, from Cali. But anyways, due to that, Wizard opened up those pipelines, and esas avenidas started opening doors for what later came out to be for himself. And as you guys know, he would eventually get busted, and everything that he was doing, and it was a lot, believe me, when it came to not just Jalisco, but he was able to knock doors down in different areas, right, in Mexico, and plug in. And when you have that supply of soldados, then the student became the teacher, right? To say it like that. And he would eventually, get blessed. Now, wise, I'm bringing him into the conversation again. In no way, shape, or form am I stating it was one individual. It was the next individual. It's more so on a platform to to show how once camaradas, loyal, older homie, younger homie thing, once they reach that pedestal in our movement, how it all just seems to boom, it's out the window, and what matters matters, and what should be something for life or heart becomes something in second base. And in my opinion, my personal opinion, I know it probably has no type of meaning to a lot. That should come first and foremost, right? At the end of the day, everything we do is for our neighborhood. We're inside going through the headaches, going through the struggles, doing what we have to do for our neighborhood. Not just for ourselves, but of course, at least in my personal move, my neighborhood was always there, I want my neighborhood to be right in the correct ears, the right way. That's why I myself was a dummy that I plugged my neighborhood up to the right avenues to start doing things right. I did that type of footwork, right? And now I know that it's probably a mistake, but regardless, it was always there like that. And anyways, to keep speaking further about W and the sense of strength that he picked up throughout the years, he would eventually hit the feds, which before this it was always a mutual respect among homeboys, right? But there was always that division. You're in the state, I'm in the feds. So once W hit the feds, then it really got turned up on second gear. And at this time, Babo had already, well, he was going through his things, and Tablas was left behind, but he had that little resentment for what once he was trying to do that was stopped to do so. At the end of the day, I believe every Billy's goal is to have the strength for their own neighborhood and be the only one to do so, right? Then at the end of the day, power corrupts. It don't matter how loyal you might be at one time. It's just the truth is not everybody could manage power. It eventually starts playing games. Again, as I always say, the mind is always the strongest weapon against oneself. But anyways, you know, as far as I heard, W has always leaned back on T. And when I was out there with Sana, right, it was like, camarada, when you run across homies from F, there's certain things happening, but it's certain things that don't concern us, right? Tú así diles, That's how you address it, right? When they're trying to push for that support, if you want to say it like that. Just tell him it's hood business, and when it becomes movement business, con gusto, right? I'm here. Cause, well, there was a young homie, probably in his late 30s, no, not late 30s, perdón, late 20s. Taz from Florencia. What click, man, again, disculpen. But anyways, he was related to Wizard. And the homie, us, again, every homie, when we're in that, our mind is just knows better than to just think that by putting in work, you're gonna earn some type of respect, right? We know that what counts the most is, that vitamina to put money in their pocket. It's gonna hold a lot more value than you actually picking up something and handling business. So the homie, he was where he was, and he was doing his thing and paying his respects, and and the one thing you can't do with Billy is cut him off and then come back with, look, I'm answering to this other Billy, right? So I'm not obligated. I'm going to, but I'm not obligated. Because I understood there was never a no. It was just, it ain't something I have to, off the back, I te un tercio, right? But if you really sit down, I expressed this to the old man from OC that it was gonna be looked up like stepping on toes, which reality that's exactly what it is, but it was addressed like, you know, es mi familia, he's my family, and I'm entitled to put that ala around him, right? And try to support a little better before he gets out. But when it came to old man Garcia, he wasn't having it. And not took the homie's life, but hit him, right? He had it moved on. It was meando fuera la cazuela, that's what I call it, but it's freelancing, right? Like he was trying to get over on them, but in reality, just couldn't stand that, what once was a youngster that got given clecha by all three of them was becoming a rebel, if you want to say that. He was sticking up for himself and what he believed, because, again, my opinion is Wizard has a lot more weight right now when it comes to them, without minimizing none of them, right? And, but anyways, the homie got hit, the homie got removed to walk amongst us, right? And, that came with the territory when it came for him when he paroled. They could say Misa, T, as Tablas, as Wizard, as Babu. When it came to their neighborhood, they had it laced up to the point where they were well aware who was on the S list and who wasn't. So when he got out, he got something coming to him, and which it happened to the dot, right? They didn't take his life, but overall listening to Wizard to look, and it's shady in itself, when he's at a certain spot that belongs to a certain individual without even touching on that, that set trip, if because that's what I look at it, that we're both from Florencia, so I gotta have more power than you. Now that I gotta make the statement, be out there, right? It's, I disculpen is the word that comes, but I think it's just retarded, right? When in reality, their neighborhood, yes, they've been bumping heads for years, and there was a mediator in between that always kept them grounded. But, I think it has to do with who would pick up Lecha when we're that better than we're receivers, right? That's why I always stay, to be aware of whoever comes out and is coaching you to go down an alley that there's going to be something directed towards you negatively, which in this case was Tablas when he was sold up with Wizard. He planted that seed of hate towards T. So down the years, of course, it's going to flare up because it's there, right? There's a certain resentment there that, unfortunately, it came out the way it usually plays out, right? Which is under a camarada. He's the one that's going to get hurt. He's the one that's going to be deemed, removed, hit, and basically his sacrifice is going to be on second base because what comes first and foremost is what one of them Tecato as individuals wants first, and then they look at what you're worth. And certain things happen afterwards that it was a big back and forth that if Florencia don't put it out there, it's for some reason. And but this came out in the open, and why I did the short. When they told me that same that same night, right? And I didn't do it when a camarada told me one, twice. It was I do my homework, right? Cause I'm well aware how a lot certain individuals come on here and speak because they can, right? It's breaking news, so vámonos. Nah. Everything that comes out of your boca has a ricochet effect. At least when you have some type of value for yourself, right? But anyways, unfortunately they moved on that, and there's been issues between them for a while. Of course, T parole, and next thing you know, they started bringing his backtrack history, what's on paper about him, and it's part of their movement. For years, they could be solid M members, moving, causing chaos. But once that one that was rubbing elbows with them in that political sense, in that hunger of power, gets tired of him or feels that he's picking up more ground than him, he's going to utilize everything that one once trusted on the next. And those are facts. Really pay attention, and you'll see that it has repeated itself time and time and time again, right? At the end of the day, they're aware of it from the moment they see it. They know it's true, but they decide to minimize it and give a pass and allow the individual to continue in that sense of good. Because once someone does what this cat did, he shouldn't be good anywhere under no circumstances, right? But again, that's Florencia's trip. And he got hit by who, by whom, I don't know. This was just a story how again, a camarada trusted not just on a Billy, but on a family member that was a Billy. And it was all due to greed, doubts, whatever, dope, mostly dope, right? Because the homie too should have known better that he's under someone's sardine, and just because so and so is gonna take 2% instead of 3%, he should have been like, no, mis respetos. I want to respect, because that's how it should be. Who knows politics knows who's in that spot, owns the spot, period. Or if not, you're gonna have consequences. You know, I have a lot more to touch on this, but I see I already made this video long, so we'll make it a topic Wednesday on the live at 8 p.m. as well as the current events that I seen that, man, as much as I want to, I don't want to get into things like this, but it's shameful what I seen, when it came from a different raza or brother, and how one openly claims to be, something that, man, there should be no disrespect there, cause there's a lot of people that are doing live that had died for that movement, for you to come on TV and get openly punked, to have what, again, you should have to heart, disrespected, insulted, and then when they tell you, I know where you're at, basically I could go and we could handle business. My personal answer would have been like, I'll be outside, are you here already? All that chit chat stuff, but a long time ago I used to see this individual's things, right? But when I knew he was full of stuff and I knew his career would have been over, when I see him do a reaction on a Billy I have talked about, right? And he straight up openly disrespected and insulted the man. That's when I knew you speak just to speak. You don't even know what you're speaking. Because in reality, if this individual finds out you spoke about him like so, those men sitting across from you in them seats, they would have been your worst enemy. But again, we're in the era where money talks, right? But again, it'll be a topic for Wednesday when I go live. Again, I'm not in any way, shape, or form am I leading any type of guilt towards nothing I speak of what recently happened. They know, and they're the only one that know, and I appreciate those that got at me to be able to put it out there. But I don't do that, especially when there's a death and it's open. And I know a lot think of me like basura, right? Which is okay. But at least I could say, I hate that side of gente when it comes to, government in any way, shape, or form more than what I speak on. So, with this said, I hope everybody had a beautiful weekend. Disculpen if I sound, but I don't even want to say it at times because I know I sound like a broken record, but you guys know my condition, so it's been a little couple days rough. That's why I'm not uploaded or anything, right? But as always, God, in my case, Jesus is amazing, right? And this alone says it, I'm still breathing, man. So thank you for that give, and to be able to, in some sense, cross words with you guys, to put hopefully something positive out there, right? Where it's always been dark, it's always been something that leads to hurting our gente. But do please, stay true to yourself, loyal to loved ones. I send my love. Muy buenas noches.